Hello, my lovely child of the internet. How are you doing? Welcome to another one that's again talking about video games. Because once again, we're talking about a video game I really like, or I really like to express my gratitude and my extending a hand to other people to play it. Today we're going to be talking about Voice of Cards, the Isles Dragon's Roar. It's a game that actually was announced last year in the September 2021 Nintendo Direct that was released in October. Now, of course, a lot of things were kind of on my mind around that time during that year, such as preparing for Shin Megami Tensei 5, along with also playing games like Melty Blood. So it kind of went under my radar. Though when I saw the actual game in the Direct, I was very interested and eluded by the game and its presentation. Again, also a demo was released a few days after that Direct, so you could play it and then you could go ahead and then want to pre-order it or not. Now, this won't go too heavily into spoilers, or may not even be that long. I just want to talk about the game as a whole, and definitely me wanting to gush a little bit about it, tell about what it did really well, and what I hope to see from it from the future. So, Voice of Cards is a series that this developer, because I'm not going to pronounce his name because I'm going to say it wrong, had created as a side project that he wanted to do. It's a game literally based on cards. Everything is cards on a table, like a hardwood excuse me? A hardwood table, like you would set cards for, like, I don't know, like maybe another popular card game that came out last year called Inscription, or maybe the recent card game that everybody's talking about, Yu-Gi-Oh! But basically, everything is cards. The items, the result screen, the gameplay, the narration, everything is cards. They want you to remember that. Because, again, a lot of those sorts of things kind of turn people off, but the whole point of this game, in a overarching sense, if I had to say, the narratively entices you to play the more you accept that this is a world that you're engulfing yourself into and realizing, even though you're playing everything on cards, you're trying to enthrall yourself as if you were those characters. The voice acting is only done by the narrator, which some would see it as a little bit of a downside, but honestly, that's its greatest strength. I will tell you, with me playing the game, there are multiple endings in this game, but I did one ending in the Ultra Secret Boss. It took me like 13 hours or 14 hours to beat. The game isn't too expensive. I think it's about $20 or $30 to $40, I believe, on the eShop. I probably will correct myself and check again on my own time if it's different, but I'll put it up on screen. When I first started playing the game, or when I played the demo at least, I was like, wow, I'm actually kind of engaged with this type of style, because it's still an turn-based RPG. The only difference is that you have the thing which is basically mana, and you basically spend points to use higher tier skills. Some skills don't take mana, but most of those ones are either ways to get more mana or just simple attacks that won't do that much. Basically, the whole conceit of the game is, hey, you're playing an RPG that's like Magic, and you have to use all of your resources to be able to do as much damage as you can to finish a battle, and then you get results at the end where you can level up and get stats, or you can get money or items.
At any rate, I'm the game master.
There's not too much customization because, again, the game is very narrow, where this is a game that is focusing on story and lore and building a world for you to be enticed and enthralled into, rather than the overarching thing of being a very complex JRPG. Because, to be honest, I think the most impressive part about this game is that, again, like I said, there was a super boss in this game, and that was the first time I died in this game. I will say that battles aren't overall hard, but I definitely can say if you're not used to RPG systems that you could probably be overwhelmed once you get to the later half of the game, because later half of the game actually got really challenging, and it really made me have to pull out all the stops. Luckily for me, again, the only time I died it was against the super boss, and I can't show you footage because I didn't record the game. But basically, I died in the worst possible way, literally to something that was RNG, but it's the only RNG thing that was in the game, so it's whatever.
Now then.
And also, it literally had like one hit left, and I died because of the RNG thing. So I was a little bit mad, but I then beat the boss on the next try because I literally said, "Nah, I ain't playing around, and I ain't playing the defensive." Because all in all, this one game really rewards you for playing offensively and literally being like, "Okay, what moves can I do to either hit weaknesses to kill enemies fast, or to be able to accumulate enough of our little tokens, our mana tokens, so we can then spend them and basically wipe out a large pool of enemy HP in like 1 or 2 goes." I would say each battle will take you no longer than like a minute, because you really don't have to think too hard, but that also is the charm about this game, because I'm like, each encounter, even though if you want to level up to grind, which I don't really think you really need to, but if you're playing the game naturally like I did, you'll just probably fight every encounter as you go, because at some point you get to a point where you can just kind of walk through enemies, but you get a good chunk of experience, so you can just cruise by without having to make any stops to really grind, which is good, because a JRPG that is short shouldn't have to be super grinded for, but also that it should still have an engaging system to be able to carry you throughout the whole game. There's no equipment or anything, just items and what your characters get for abilities. But the one thing that I'm not going to go too depth about is the actual story structure and the presentation. The presentation of this game is beautiful. Like, you're probably seeing a little bit of footage of the beginning area of it, because I probably am playing my New Game Plus file. And it's really a beautiful game. I definitely think this style, I really hope, catches on, or we can see another one of these games relatively soon. The narrator, who I'll put up the voice of right now, because again, I don't remember, he did a really good job setting like the mood and the atmosphere for all of the reading of lines and delivery, and convincing me of the story and grand adventure we went on, because like I said, I haven't experienced stuff like D&D and stuff like that in real life, but I always kind of dreamt of wanting to do it, or trying to throw myself into something like that, and to be honest, it did a really wonderful job. I will spoil one thing, okay? This is the one thing I will spoil because it's a funny bit. At the end of the game, he will ask you how you felt about him narrating. That it's the funniest bit in the game, because this is after everything's done and you're basically like, wow, this was a good game. And then you have 3 options, and I'm not going to tell you which ones that there are. All I'm going to tell you is that there are 3, and it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Overall, I think the voice of Cards is one of those series that I think I can just recommend to anybody who even hasn't played RPGs, but just wants to play a really comfortable and cozy game that doesn't ask too much of you. You'll probably be having a little bit of OCD because of the fact that you want to flip every card over to see what's hidden behind everyone, because there are little mini events and quests and stuff that you can do in the game that you can do to get to get stuff related to endings and also better items and stuff, which if you keep in mind, you can kind of just breeze through the game and go for it as fast as I did. Like I said, I did 13 hours to beat a super boss and the whole game, but all of that time I realized that I was enjoying myself to the point where I was like, damn, I really am going to be sad when this is over, because now I kind of want to play like a whole 3 other versions of this game that take place at a different place and with different story and different characters. I digress, however, because, again, making an RPG that's short in length and have at least the staying power to be a visually appealing game and also an enriching, enticing game that allows you to be sucked in to just play for, hours. Because I'll tell you, each session of me playing it was at least 3 to 4 hours, and then I realized, oh, I can't play anymore, but I wish I could, because I kind of got sucked in. A lot of the humor, and there's a lot of grit in the story where you have really... They have parts in the game where they literally play their hand and you read things that you're like, whoa, I didn't think we're going here, but I guess we are. Guess that's what I should expect from a writer from another very popular series making another spin-off series where he can flex his writing bone. But, you know, all in all, I think if you're interested in any of the stuff that you've seen either on screen or what I've been talking about, definitely recommend buying this game. And again, it's not a huge time thing. This is a game that you can beat within 20 hours. This is an RPG that you can beat within 20 hours that you can enjoy and enthrall yourself into and then just play. It's a game you can just kind of turn off your brain, just enjoy, and the stuff that you get from this game makes you really appreciate what well-written and well-scripted narratives can really do in this genre. And why the games that I really like and enjoy remind me that stuff like this is something that I think we should take more note about, because, hey, I do like long RPGs. I really do, and I don't mind them. But, you know, you can still have a short RPG experience that just leaves that same, you know, mark on you, like a Xenoblade, a Persona, a Final Fantasy, you know, any of those, you know, really mainstay ones, but, you know, any of those can leave a mark on you for playing them for, you know, hundreds of hours or, you know, 50 to plus hours. But, you know, I think it's really telling that this game has really touched me. And I really wish that I played it last year because, you know, it definitely was on my Game of the Year list in retrospect after playing it at the beginning of this year and being like, man, I really should have played this sooner. It is too bad, though, that, like, you know, it would have been overshadowed by, you know, Shin Megami Tensei 5 and me playing Melty Blood, so that is that. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think this is a wonderful game. I'm not going to rate it. I'm just going to say that I love this game. This is now going to be in my pantheon of things that I look out for when I see another thing that's called Voice of Cards and then a new title. Because I think they're going to try to make this a series that is not going to be yearly, but probably every other year, if they're interested in doing it again. Because basically they have the assets and systems to kind of just take whatever they have and just move it on to whatever they want to for another one. I mean, yeah, they could probably splurge and do different things with it, but they probably won't do too many heavy things to change it. Maybe just a different narrator, or maybe keep the same one. Who knows? But all I'm saying is that the Voice of Cards, the Isle's Dragon Roar, is definitely a game that if any JRPG fan just enjoys JRPGs and just wants a cozy experience that doesn't take that long, I recommend you getting it. But yeah, that's been another episode of, once again, talking about video games. The Voice of Cards, the Isle Dragon's Roar. I hope you guys liked and enjoyed the video. Again, if you would not mind, since you've reached this part, if you would like to like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be perfect. And yeah, next time I come back to another one of these, once again talking about video games, I'm hoping that I'm gonna have my first project all finished for what I want to do for a Let's Talk About, which is just a pipe dream, but you know, it's still about video games and something that might interest you guys. So if you guys are going to be interested in that, remember to keep those notification bells ring, or rung, whatever you want to say. And yeah, so I have been Multi-Man, other known as Multi126789, and I'll catch you lovely chows next time. So ciao ciao, my lovely chows of the internet, until then.